Okay, good morning, everybody. Um, Welcome to the third and final day of the Fishers Prep Activators workshop. And it has been 2 awesome days. The first day for data analysis and the second day on scientific writing. And this is to inform us that the session has been, the first day session and second day session has been uploaded on our YouTube channel. That's because the training is a closed one for our 4 activators, 2 in Ondo State and Lagos State, who would be working with the project coordinators to deploy the first cohort of the Fishers Prep project aimed at promoting sustainable fishing in Nigeria, so as to improve the climate resilience of our fish species in Nigeria. And today, we're going to be talking about community engagement. Today's training is going to be on community engagement. And our trainer is someone that is so vast and on this topic. He's a fisheries extensionist who has, you know, a wealth of knowledge with engaging, you know, coastal communities, artisanal fishers, and is going to train us on how to engage, a target audience for the project. So let me just read his bio briefly. Mr. John Oluwatosin is a trained fisheries and aquaculture expert with specialization in fisheries, economics, and extension. His researches are directed to eliminate the challenges facing fish stock management, marketing, and profitability analysis of both artisanal and cultured fish productions. John has over 8 years of research experience in fishing community engagements along the coastline of Nigeria, with a special interest in sustainable biodiversity, natural minerals exploration, and effect on the livelihood of fisher folks. John works with Olam Agri as an aquaculture technical executive, where he has helped over 500 practicing farmers on adopting profitable and sustainable aquaculture practices. He is a fisheries enterprise startup and scale-up consultant with a decade of practical hands-on experience. He is the lead value addition strategist at Sestate Hub, an agro-processing startup enterprise that aims at ending hunger, protein malnutrition, poverty, and unemployment in Nigeria, where he mentored and trained over 50 youths on fish value chain addition. John is an alumnus and a fellow of Faith Foundation. That's an agribusiness entrepreneurship program. He is sturdily confident that well-managed fishery stocks and farming business ventures are integral to improving the nutrition and health status of Nigerians, which in return would boost national, social, and economic development for a prosperous and resilient Nigeria. Please, let's give our wonderful trainer for today's session a round of applause. Let's give him a round of applause, a round of applause. Yes, Mr. John.
Thank you so much.
Welcome, sir.
Thank you so much. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. It's an honor to be here. I'm glad and I appreciate this opportunity to hear from you, to discuss about what we have for you this morning. We're talking about community engagement. So let me just share my slide.
Okay, I'll make you the host now so you can share your slide.
Okay. So I just have a few things, but I'll be speaking more, not just on the slides alone. Okay. Okay. Can we all see this?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, the coordinator and anchor of Aqua, to be here with Activators today. Actually, I did not know that there were previous workshops aside mine, so I packaged a bit of everything before I discussed about community engagement. So today could serve as a refresher of what you have had in your previous 2 days, and would make it an interactive session here today. So thank you so much. So we move on. We know Nigeria to be a very blessed country, where we have abundant natural and human resources, among which we have forestry, minerals, fisheries resources, richly and endowed in our various coastal areas. So in fishing is the major occupation along the coastline of Nigeria, and spans through several southern states, bordering Gulf of Guinea and the Atlantic Ocean. So let's go back. So fishing is major livelihood for those in the coastal areas of Nigeria. So the hunting, the fishing, it's the hunting, the catching, the marketing of edible fish, fresh and marine fishes, which is largely dominated by artisanal fishing industry in Nigeria. So economically, Nigeria fishery sector provides employment. So the problems, Nigeria fisheries, artisanal fisheries are constantly faced with challenges such as climate change, dwindling fisheries population, poor best practices, poor produce distribution and marketing. And this has contributed in landing of low quantity of fishes, and which affects the economic status of fisher folks in this coastal areas. So Nigerian coastline. Am I still audible, please?
Yes, you are very audible.
Oh, all right, all right. I felt I was the only one here. So Nigeria has the coastline has about 9 states, the oil producing states and the ones that are not oil producing, with a coastline of 853 kilometers. Coastal states includes Akwa Ibom, Bayelsa, Cross River, Delta, Edo, Lagos, Ogun, Ondo, River State. So out of these states, Ondo State has the largest coastline of 180 kilometers. Lagos State is the largest coastal city and is also the commercial capital of Nigeria. So I see one of the reasons why today, for this project, we are dwelling on these 2 states. It's not because Lagos State has its own prominent characteristics. Lagos State consists of several interconnected lagoons, creeks, lakes, rivers. So the predominant fishing communities here are Amuodofin, the Badagry area, Etiosa, Ibejuleki, Imagbon, Orogun. It's recorded that Etiosa and Ibejuleki local government areas are home to most fisher folks. For the purpose of this project, Ondo State is the second state involved, and predominantly we have the fishing communities in Ondo State majorly in the two local government areas, the Ilaje, Odo local government. Ilaje has a land area of 703 kilometers square with a population of over 129,000. With its headquarters in Igbokoda, predominantly inhabited by the Ilajes. Odo local government area, it's inhabited by the Ijos, a subgroup of the Western Apoy tribe and Arubu tribe. Its headquarters is in the town of Igbekebo. Now, for the purpose of this project, we have been able to purposefully select 2 states along the coastline and randomly select fishing communities in various local government areas of those states. And I know also the activators of this program, we also be able to reach out to various communities in the various local government areas of these 2 states. I know the data collection, I had the anchor talk about data collection, data analysis for day 1, scientific analysis for day 2. So I know for you to do all that, so you have to also get your data. Activators will be getting their data to well-structured questionnaires that are open and closed-ended questions, indigenous translation of those questionnaires into local dialects, because most of the fisher folks you might be meeting on the field might not be all well-learned. Let me put it that way. You also have to be able to have a grasp of your operations in also your dialect. You must be able to speak your dialect so well, their dialect so well. So focus group discussion, oral interviews. Before we go into the main ways we could penetrate into community engagement, I would like us to know that it is very, very important for an activator of this program to not only have what he has in mind to go achieve, but also consider the things that the fisher folks in these areas are going through. I'll put it in this way. You have to be able to know some information about them prior to you even just going there. And this is also controlled by you knowing their socioeconomic characteristics, such as the gender of the people that you are going to meet, the marriage status of the people you are meeting, what type of family size do they have, what is their education status, and how experienced are they in the fishing industry. With the various research I've done along the coastline of Nigeria, I've been able to do a bit of research in Warri, Baramato Kingdom, and also Odigbo local government area of Ondo State, even Ilaje and Odo areas too. and I've been able to attend to get to various communities in this location, over 20 communities. So what I'll be discussing will be some of those things information I have about them. I know based on my own research, most fisher folks that practice fish farming, that catch fish on the wild rather, are mainly male. It's the male gender that does more of the fishing activities, while the women are mostly into the processing activities of fishes caught from the water. However, in some communities where they use a bit of paddled canoes, where they have little water bodies where fishes are aggregated, women also are involved into fishing activities. So it should not be a surprise when, as activators, you get to some communities and you see women, the female gender, predominantly as the fisher women or fisher folks in that community. About the marital status, most of the fisher folks are married because fishing to them is a culture. It's their own way of life. It's an inheritance. It's what they have been doing and has been passed down from generation to generation. Hence, you tend to see even a family of 4 generations in a particular community, and all of them are practicing fishing. They marry as early as the age of 14, 15, and they too also replicate this. Their family size is always very large. You can have an average of a family size of 15 to 20 members in a family. This is because they give birth to a lot of children, and their children are majorly their labor. Am I still audible? Are you following me?
Yes, sir. We're following clearly.
Oh, all right.
Yes, we are following.
Okay. What about Victoria? I've not heard from you. Are you there with us?
Yes, I'm following.
All right. Thank you. So, where did I stop? Okay, I stopped at the family size, knowing the family size. Yes.
Hello?
So
I'm following.
you're following. Thank you. Thank you. So we have more of them having a large family size of 15 to 20 persons, which serves as cheap labor. The younger boys assist the male gender. The husbands or the younger boys are majorly those that go to the water bodies, and while the female children assist the mothers when fishes are landed on their bays, and they help in sorting out fishes, they help in cleaning out the fishes, they help to transfer these fishes even onto to their places, and help also in their processing activities at their in their communities. For the education status of fisher folks, most of the fisher folks have the opportunity to have primary and secondary school education. A few of them are exposed. A very minute number of them leave their fishing communities for higher institutions of learning. So what you might see in these fishing communities are those that have large knowledge about just primary school information. That's what they know. And a few of them also have been able to attend secondary school. This is a plus for activators because they have the basics to understand and adopt where the information you are bringing onto them. They also have the understanding of the improved information we are also trying to pass across to them. So for the fishing experiences, I earlier said that most of the fisher folks are born fisher men and fisher women. They grew up in it. They have been doing it all their life. So they have experience on the job experience from when they were very little. And they have been also been practicing this it's more or less like their own way of life. It's more or less their culture. So adopting new strategies, adopting new information, adopting new knowledge and trends at times might be very difficult because they will be they have been doing these things all the days of their lives. They have been doing these things for 10, 15, 20 years, and they have been getting results this way. But also, it's also very important for an activator to also hear them out, to also hear all the information they have and be able to help them analyze this information and also introduce what we have for them. So I would be dwelling on the pre-study procedures. For community engagement to be effective, we activators have to do a pre-study and undergo a pre-study procedure. Firstly, collection of facts. I believe the activators for Ondo states already have the information of the communities or the local governments they will be going to. Am I right?
Yes, they have the information. I think as of now, right, all of both Lagos and Ondo states, we have the communities already. We've made pre-visits to those communities. Engaged some fishermen, their society, and done necessary information.
All right. So why I put the pre-study there is this: for an activator to really be effective in carrying out their activities, once the knowledge of the communities are known, before an activator starts the work, he has to do a pre-study. A pre-study in terms of collection of facts. What are the major things about this community? What do they do? What is their way of life? What are their customs and their traditions? Which institutions are there? Can I also identify a tour guide in this community before the activator now presents himself or herself to begin work in the community? I'll bring it from one of my visits to Agbabu, yes, Agbabu community. Then I had to first go to the location to first even see if it was going to be convenient for me to carry out my activity and my study in the community. And the first thing one must do in such a situation is to identify who the ruler in such a community is. That is the institution of a leadership in such a community. It could be the Bale, could be a small chief. That is the first point when you enter into any community. Then I entered into the community and I went straight to the Bale house to have a word with them about what I have to do in their land. And with this, there were things we had to do. It's a cultural thing. You have to pay homage to their tradition, pay homage to their custom, do it the way it's been done so that you could be accepted in the land to carry out your own activities. Because without doing this, it will be very, very difficult to do whatever exercise you have to do. So it's from the Bales house that I was given someone that took me around the community, told me where to move and where not to move, who to associate with and who not to associate with, who to ask questions from, who not to ask questions from, the forbidden areas to step into, and where I would have easy access. This information were what I was able to gather back, came back, sat down on it, strategized well, and was able to look into which ways I was going to penetrate into the community and do my own assignments well. So for an activator, as the anchor already said, there has been a pre-visit. I believed you would be able to know one focal point in the community that will be your easy source of engagement to other persons in the community. This as a tour guide might be also a person that could translate or speak the native language of the people in the community. So having done that, having known their information, their backgrounds, their customs, their traditions, and the do's and the don'ts, health precautions, there are a lot of ways you also tend to be able to be accepted in a community where you have gone to carry out your activity by you doing what they do. Doing what they do is this. I remember one of my trips to one local community, I was offered water to drink. Very funny. I was offered water to drink from this their normal pots. And I looked at the pot into water. I was like, was I going to reject their water? I knew it was a test for me. It was a test for me to see if I was going to accept their water by accepting them before I could pass my own information to them. I took the water in. I took the water in, just a little sip to like just foster their own belief in me, for them to be able to gain their trust. And afterwards, I was like, this and this are the things I've come to do. So for an activator, you must also be willing to open up yourself, to do what they do, mingle with them, gain their trust, gain their confidence. Then you introduce the information you have for them. Okay. So the action points: be friendly, complimentary, try to be understanding, you arouse their interests, after which you create a desire to take actions. Then with this, you have gained and deserved their own confidence. And your whole main aim is to leave a clear impression as to the objects of visits. And all this, you're recording your visits, you're having the names and the relevant information of the fisher folks. While getting your information and gathering your information, you also definitely must be able to identify and ask important questions. Because from your observation of the fishing activities in these fishing communities, you'll be able to know if they predominantly use motorized canoes for their fishing operations. Motorized canoes are canoes that have engine. motorable canoes that they use on the water for fishing activities, or they are predominantly making use of the paddle canoes. Now, the difference between this and the information you are trying to derive from this is this. For communities where they are in the use of paddle canoes. Paddle canoes majorly is operated by human efforts. So it's going to take them a longer period of time to get onto their water body and return back to their base. So for an activator that wishes to pass out information to these fisher folks, we'll also be able to know which time is the best time to meet with them individually, on which time will be the best time to meet with them collectively as a group. If you are not having this information of the period of their fishing period per day, you might not be able to be strategic in selecting the area at the time for your own engagements. For those that make use of paddled canoes, my own experience in such communities is that they leave early in the morning. Most of them around, they would have done firstly, the day before, they would have gone onto the water, placed their traps in the water body, return back late at night, then move back around 9-10 in the morning to go check their traps and see if it has caught fish stock and bring them back to the landing areas. And at the time they return, it's always around 4 p.m. on the day. So when they have time is majorly in the evenings. That's when you have fishes already coming in the evenings. So for you as an activator to be able to engage this kind of persons will be mostly late in the evenings in their market space or their courtyards where they go to unwind and relax. But for those that make use of motorized boats, most of them are into the active fishing activity. Active in a sense that they go onto the water body and they disperse their nets, either their cast nets and other kinds of nets, gears. They catch their fish, they bring them back to the landing areas, and before 12 in the morning, they are already done with their own activities. So for fisher folks in this kind of environment, the timing will be different from those that made use of paddled canoes. I hope you are with me. I'd like to get feedbacks, please.
Yes, we are following.
If there's any way you need me to come back, kindly signify, please.
Okay.
Thank you.
That'll be after the class, right?
Pardon?
That'll be after the class.
Yeah, okay. Maybe it's something that we need to just jot down your questions, and after the class we'll have it. So
thank you.
I was on the time. So you'll be able to know as an activator the best time to approach and engage your audience. You know, engaging those that are coming back in the afternoon and waiting for them in the evening and waiting for them in the afternoon, or you have already fixed a time that this is the time we are going to be doing this and doing that, you would not be able to get the appropriate results. So you have to be able to know where they meet, when they return, what they do, and which strategy you would be using. That is it going to be a group means of dissemination of information? Are you doing individual? Are you doing mass? Are you going from house to house? Or are you going to be doing a cluster by cluster information and engagement with your audience? So before we go into the post-visit procedures, let me still stay with this. Having known the prior information about the fisher folks in the community, having studied and observed their way of doing things, and also known when to meet with them, how to engage with them, also decided on the means of engagement. The means of engagement, the use of either when you're having a large group of them, are you making use of your mass media, like maybe making use of microphone or megaphones? Are you having flyers or prints? Are you having banners and other inscriptions to relate the information you have for them? So for an activator to be able to pass this information all around, you have to be prepared for both things. You should not be caught unawares. Being not caught unawares is this: to get the desired result and get the right information for every engagement, it is very important that an activator plans for mass and also plans for individual engagements. For mass engagements, you might be very lucky that at this area or at the period of your own be a time where they are having their own get together, or let me put their own festive or their own festive season, or the time when they have things to do as a unit. So if you already had prior knowledge that I was going to be meeting one person, two persons per time to pass out my information and do my work and do my engagement with them and give them the knowledge of what I have to pass across to them, and you now meet a large number of people, how would you be able to also replicate your information per person, per individual, for a large gathering? So you have to be prepared with your information, either for individual engagement or mass engagement. And at every point in time, you must get relevant information and feedback from them. Relevant information based on your data collection techniques, and the feedbacks based on what they are facing, the challenges they are facing. And have there been previous activities of maybe extension officers? Have there been government interventions in their communities? What programs have been there before you are there? So by the time you ask this information and get feedbacks from them, you also be able to know which area to come in and tweak your own approach towards engaging them. It won't be like a predetermined way that I have to do this. This is the way I want to do it. You must be able to get this information and be ready to be flexible in carrying out and disseminating your information. The post-visit procedures would include a follow-up on a daily basis. If you had met with a group on a particular day, I don't know how many days the engagement will be at each fishing communities. Mr. Anchor, please, how many days project is it going to be, sir?
All right, so the project is going to last from August to February, but we are going to be having different field works. Okay. So our first field work will be happening in September for our first visitation. Then after our next visitation will be November. Then the old one is going to be February.
Okay, so thank you. So with this, an activator should be preparing or should plan to break down the interactions. Yeah. So after you have met with them, the first period, you should be able to do a follow-up. A follow-up would create a consciousness that in their minds will create your visibility, a consciousness of your visibility in their community. And this will also help to give a soft landing or a soft reintroduction whenever you visit these communities again. Now, there was a particular community I worked in. That was about 8 years ago. Yeah, 8 years ago. I still had contacts. I still have contacts with people in that community. That whenever I need to do anything in that place, I could just pick up my phone and place a call through, like this and this and this and this, and they also call back like, some people came again, they did this thing again in this place. So I built this cordial relationship with them, and this is based on my follow-up. If I have any projects that we need to embark in this community today, what I need to do is just to place calls through. We'll be here in this community for these particular days, and provisions and every preparation will be done. So I won't need to go back again into this kind of a community to start the work all over again, like getting to know them, getting to know their customs, getting to know their tradition, getting to be accepted, because fisher folks are also human beings. We passing information or trying to organize something or carry out a project in any fishing communities is as the same thing as engaging human beings. And human beings are turned up to the way you treat them, the respect you are called onto them, and how interested you are about them. So an activator should not just have it in mind that you want to carry out a project or a research in a community and be all about what your assignment has brought you to do in that place. The interest of the fisher folks in this community should be your paramount interest. When you show so much interest about them, they too will be willing to cooperate with you, and it makes it easier for you to get your jobs done. So follow-up is a thing. If you are having maybe 4 or 5 days in a particular community, and you have known the terrain of the community and divided it into maybe 4 cardinal areas, the north area, the west area, the south areas, it's very easy for you, after you have done a portion today, in the morning of the next day, to give up a follow-up visit to them in their homes. Most of them will be staying in huts, in mud houses. They also have where they come to gather and unwind. So you make a follow-up visit before you leave their community totally. It won't just be you engaging them and you are just leaving them like that. So you create a interpersonal relationship between you as an activator and also the host community of the fisher folks. You seek their feedbacks from the questions you have asked, from the ways they have been doing things. You try to push your own new innovation and interventions to reduce or to stop the problems they are facing, to combat the problems they are facing. I have observed in some communities that I've also visited, they will tell me this is where they pass out their physics and their excretors directly on top of the water body. This is the area where they are pouring their debris and their wastes. They will take me to the areas where they also do their washing and their discharge of chemicals into the water body. And they come up with their own, they lament about the neglect or the neglect of the government our government has not been able to do or address their problems. When they do all this, it's not a job of an activator to condemn outrightly what practices they have been doing. It is your duty to make them see the implications of their actions to the water body. It is your duty to make them see the benefits that is attached to they not doing the wrong things they have been doing over the years. It's your duty as an activator to give them the guideline of the new ways to carry out their proper waste discharge, of the new ways to carry out their fishing activities, of the new ways to carry out their processing activities of the fishes that are landed to prevent fish loss, post-harvest loss, is your duty to be able to tell them, if you don't use these chemicals to kill fishes, you can also use normal biological methods, use chemicals to kill these sizes of fishes, because this is their breeding season. This fish catch them. It's your duty. Okay. Hello, Sophia, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Welcome back.
I thought I had a technical glitch. So far, where did we stop, please?
Yeah, I think you only went off for, I think, 5 seconds. So we were still with you.
Oh, okay. Okay. So it's your duty. Are you still with me? Can you hear me?
Yes. So you might need
Okay.
to start sharing your screen again.
Oh, okay. A minute, please. All right. Okay. We can all see the screen.
Yes, yes.
All right. So, all right. So, when you have these interactions with them and you're providing the solutions to them, it's two things. You don't argue with the faults that they had been, their faults rather, but you are providing a better solution to them. I understand that they do things right for the goal of achieving a better and a sustainable ecosystem, for the goal of getting sustainability of fisheries resources. So when we hammer on this, when we hammer on this and we tell them the rightful things, the major objectives of our research, and we inform them on the better ways to do their own activities, that they should play their own part and allow nature to also carry out its own course. So you should get the documentaries, the pictures of your interaction with them. If possible, share these pictures with them again. Like we're taking these group pictures, share it with them again. Seek their consent before taking pictures, because it's a very major point. Seek their consent rather for taking pictures or videos, because at times the coastal community members are also very skeptical how they give access to people, because of previous interactions with maybe some NGOs and some individuals. Some persons have gone to various coastal areas to carry out research and activities and had collected money meant for these areas and not reimbursed them. It's as if they are milked them because of their own plights, because of their own situations. So it's very important to let them know that yes, we are legit, we are doing a legit project, and we are taking these videos. And at the end of the day, you also give them to see. This is the videos we have done. These are the pictures we have taken. This builds trust. This builds, fosters the relationship we have with them on subsequent visits that we might be taking. Okay. Tools and techniques. I think I've mentioned some of these things too. Schematic observations, interviews and surveys, the questionnaires, the focus group discussions, demonstrations with the use of charts, past experiences of these people, their home visits, and courtyard discussions. Home visit and courtyard discussions. In the beginning of this conversation, I made mention of visiting maybe their ruler, having an internal person in the environment that you already know through your pre-visits to the fishing communities. This person, most times, are always there. Maybe they are PROs of the fishing communities, or maybe the youth leader in the fishing communities. This person serves as catalyst and also a support to the activator. They are able to draw crowd. They are able to draw those that are really the subject matter for this project, because they are able to tell you who legitimately is the fish farmer, the fisherman rather, the legitimate fisher folks in this community, not just the active ones. They'll tell you who are the active fisher folks, who are the passive fisher folks that also have other occupations that they do. They also be able to point out to you which strategies and the procedures that you have, which one might likely work in their community. For these persons that will be catalyst and help in this procedure, it is up to an activator to sell out the initial idea, your modus operandi, the way you want to carry out your activities, the days you want to use, the things you want to drive out, and your aims and objectives should be clearly spelled out at the inception of your interaction, so that focus is not shifted from the main thing you are there to do in their fishing community. For every project has a lifespan. If you are there for 3 days and you need to engage 500 persons, you should know that, yes, so I'm here for 3 days and I'm here to engage 500 persons. You are clearly spelling out your own actions to this person. I'm here to see 500 people. If this person points you out to want to do individual, you'll be like, no, I need to have people in groups. I need to have people in their 10s, in their 20s, in their 30s. I need to mix with them. How can I split my actions? How can I split my my plans into this time frame? So for an activator, aside the project time frame, you also should have a time frame for you to carry out your activity. With this time frame, you'll be able to deduce if you are making a progress, if you are not delaying on your target and your tasks. If your tasks, you'll be able to meet up your tasks within the stipulated time frame for the project. So all this will be what you would have passed out in the inception of your interaction with your focal person in the fishing community. So engagement procedures: determining a place of visit. Yes, defining your purpose of visitation. Showcase your solutions. You stimulate the interest in them, and you select a selection of local leaders and vision drivers to amplify your activity in their community. And organize activity. Yeah, organizing activities in form of gatherings, in form of your individual visits to them, organizing activities in knowing maybe their educational institution, which town hall time do they have their town hall meetings, where to be able to meet with them, what are those things that they do that brings economic stability to them in their community. So with this, you'll be able to use this information to your own advantage. So I had just pictures of some fishes you get in some of these communities, the traps, there are fishing gears, and this is just one of my trips to fishing community, 2 different fishing communities, and pictures to just make sure that I belong to them and I was ready to do what they do before they move on to their own activities for the day. Let's see what next. Okay, so we'll be having other questions, then we have interactions after this. So our conclusion is this workshop is to show that dwellers in these areas are predominantly on fishing activities, and they have experience, they have access to formal education, and this helps them to adopt new technologies. And one of the things, okay, they have absence of storage facilities, and in some areas, invasion of water hyacinths and other problems that they face. So recommendations to intensify efforts in disseminating improved technologies and practices, and for them to be able to adopt this to help in a booming of fish production. Also help them in organizing themselves to be able to access soft loans or from various government agencies, and to also help them boost in their fishing activities. So questions, and let's open the floor for more interaction.
Okay, so before we move to the questions and interaction session, thank you so much. Because we're going to be sharing the video on our YouTube channel for those that, so I'm going to pause I'm going to stop the recording totally so that whoever is watching the YouTube video would have a focus. So let me just do that. And then we have the interactive session. Okay, can you help me pause the recording from your side? Just help me stop it.